Alright, game 3 shows itself with no village on the board, which is interesting. If you want plus actions, you will have to summon Market Square or Lighthouse, for example. On the other hand, um, we do have thinning in Spice Merchant. Like I mentioned, Market Square is there, which triggers when something is trashed from your hand. So, I think I want to try for some kind of Spice Merchant Market Square thing to gain gold. I know that is not reliable. I can't count on it to get money into my deck, but I should at least give myself the chance to be able to gain a gold with the Market Square. Anyway, so what we are both going to do here is open with the Market Square and a summoned Spice Merchant. I think the summoned Spice Merchant is better, unless you could somehow guarantee you draw it on turn 3, which could happen, but it doesn't always happen. This way I make sure that it happens and I manage to trash something and move on. Unfortunately, I didn't see the Market Square there, but neither does my opponent, so we're just going to pick up a couple more Market Squares, hopefully to give ourselves a better chance of picking up this gold. So the idea with this deck is to get thin, get gold off your Market Squares hopefully, and then go for provinces. I would like a baker or two in the deck. Definitely I would like a baker or two in the deck, just to, you know, deal with the turns where you end up with 7. Hopefully you'll have a coin token on the mat at that point, and you can still get up to 8 that way. So one other thing to take note of on the board is fairgrounds, right? There's a ruins pile which excuse me, can send your fairgrounds count up to 15, which would make them with 6 points quite easily. Not only because we have a lot of plus buy in the Market Squares, but because there's death card around too. So potentially buying one death card can give you 3 uniques, which is a lot for fairgrounds. So that's something to just take note of when you're building your deck. You want to, you know, keep your options as open as possible. You know, don't go out of your way to put crazy things into your deck unless you plan to go for fairgrounds very aggressively. Here I think you don't want to do that because you cannot make your fairgrounds be worth provinces quickly enough. I think you can go after the provinces more quickly. And in which case your fairgrounds might just be worth 4 points instead of the 6. So there, on my last turn I picked up a silver instead of the Market Square. It's time to start adding treasure into my deck. These Market Squares, like I said, it is not going to trigger all the time and give me gold. It'll do it sometimes and I'll be glad for those times, but outside of that, really, I don't think is a very reliable thing. You can't count on it to flood your deck with treasure, so I'm gonna do it myself by buying treasure. And the silver actually shows up here, so I can't pick up another silver or another Market Square at this point. It's up to me of course. I think I will end up picking up the silver here. It seems to be consistent with what I am doing now. Also, I don't quite want to run out the Market Square pile because that is really the only attractive summon target. And I might want to summon a Market Square at some point. And you'll see why, because I eventually add a Catacombs into my deck, so if my deck is thin enough, I could get a lot of draw out of it. You know, +1 card from the summoned Market Square and then 3 from the Catacombs. I don't hate adding a Catacombs to this type of deck. Just the single one, of course. I don't hate adding the Catacombs, but first I am going to put the Baker in the deck. So I'm going to take a Baker here. My opponent triggered 2 Market Squares last turn. I was only able to trigger 1 so far, so a little bit ahead on the gold department are they. Yes, so the baker here, instead of summoning anything or picking up two market squares, I don't want to touch the market square pile for reasons mentioned before, and the baker here, like I said, should hopefully give me coin tokens to smooth out my draws. Not only that, but my idea with the baker too is to hopefully create a bank of coin tokens so that I could pressure my opponent with it. So if my stack of coin tokens is bigger than his, I have options to do a lot more things. And we have plenty plus buy in our deck, so it could easily be something like, maybe he could get province duchy or double fairgrounds if you have a lot of coin tokens, of course. So here I'm gonna spend my coin token to pick up another baker. I think two bakers is good. Two bakers is good. The next five, I could be a third baker, but it might be a catacombs instead. Another trigger of the market square for my opponent, so they're doing better on those. 3 gold compared to my 1, I believe. My 1 gold. And picking up a silver, so going for the treasure flood there manually as well. So 6 here could be a gold for me. It could be a gold. I was a little bit hesitant to buy gold in this game just because of the market square thing, but I probably should have regardless because it isn't reliable. It's not reliably getting me gold. So again, 6, I have summon options. I have the option of picking up another baker, another catacombs. Not another catacombs, a catacombs. So I think for quite some time here, but I think I eventually settle on the catacombs at this point. I think I eventually settle on the catacombs. And now I could start, hopefully tracking my deck and knowing when to summon that market square so that I can play the catacombs and still play other action cards after it. So 7, not 8 for my opponent. I'm quite happy to see that. 8, he might have considered province, and I don't think I'm quite set up yet to go after those. He could buy a couple of things here, but I mean, we'll see what he does, right? He just goes for a baker. So this is his first baker at this point, turning down the lighthouse. And I understand there's no attacks to defend yourself from, and it is a stop card, right? So here I'm still able to trash with this Spice Merchant. So another gold for me there, which I'm of course happy about. So 2 gold against 3 from the market squares. And just even being able to trash with the Spice Merchant at this point in the game, I think I've trashed 3 or 4 coppers already. That's real good for me. Usually your Spice Merchant kinda retires forcibly after you've trashed 3 or 4 coppers out of your deck, so to get any coppers after that is a real bonus. So like here, I don't really want to trash my silver to the Spice Merchant. I don't know what could be so good in those next 2 cards that I would want to sacrifice some of my economy this early in the game. I do have a couple coin tokens, but I'm trying to hold off on spending it. Like 5 here, I could still pick up something nice for the deck, like a baker for example, or summon even, and keep the coin tokens in the back. As much as possible, that's what I'm trying to do. So here I'm not going to trash the silver, no reason for me to, and I'm also going to avoid spending these coin tokens. So what I end up going for here is the summoned market square. The summoned market square. I was also thinking during the game about summoning Death Card at some point, because I know that Spice Merchant would be dead. So if I could summon Death Card on a turn where I know or where I would have a high chance of drawing into the Spice Merchant, that would be nice. I could get rid of it. I would add 2 ruins to the deck, but maybe that isn't so terrible, especially given that Fairgrounds exist. And who knows, I might even be able to find those ruins with my death card later on in the game. So my opponent goes for the first province here, and luckily for me, I am able to see my catacombs or off the on the turn where I summon the market square. So I'm gonna play it here. Gonna see a bunch of garbage first. I'm just thinking about the shuffle here, whether or not I want to trigger the shuffle. There are some good cards in the shuffle. There's what the Spice Merchant, the gold, and the silver, but there's also a couple of states, right? I do trigger the shuffle in the end. I think it's worth it. I have quite a bit of money, so I'm pretty happy about triggering the shuffle, and I'm able to see my Spice Merchant, which is great news. Great news. I'm able to draw and only leave one card on top of my deck, so that is great news for me here. So a lot of options for me here. I could go for the double province, but that would tap into my bank of coin tokens, and I don't think I should do that, or I have to do that at this point in the game. I could just keep the bank there and have it as uh, pressure, have it as something to, you know, make my opponent think about. He doesn't know exactly what I can and cannot do, and he has to play around more and more, you know, fancy scenarios for me. So I keep the coin tokens there, just going for a single province and another summon on the market square. Also, I know he can't do anything as grand as what I did. There's no way he could get the double province. I think he doesn't have any draw, and I don't think he has that kind of money. Even if he draws really well, I don't think he has that kind of money. He would need to store up some coin tokens before I would have to think about him being able to go for double province. So I just go for a single and keep the coin tokens, summon the market square. That does give me a 6 card hand. He does summon a market square here, so I was unhappy to see that. I was hoping I would have one more shot to summon a market square, particularly on this turn, if I didn't draw into anything good. But he took it. There I do trash the silver because I drew 2 estates and a province first up, which means there's a lot of good cards in the back, and I'm gonna go look for it. Particularly there is the catacombs, which I do find, and that puts me up to 10, potentially 15 with the coin tokens. Again, I'm not going to do anything with these coin tokens. I'm just going to leave them right there. Just have them sitting and waiting for the opportune moment to use them. So here I am going to pick up a province. So I believe we are tied on those, and a lighthouse. So the lighthouse might be a bit dubious, but it is a bit of money, and it is also one unique for me if I do want to pick up a fairgrounds at some point. So province for him here, that now levels the province count, and a silver as well. Had I drawn into a silver here, that would have been excellent. I am going to spend some coin tokens here though to pick up a province, just to kind of pressure him, because if he misses province here and I pick up one, then I'll be in a very, very good spot. He can't afford to take the penultimate one, but he doesn't miss province. Actually, he goes for something wild. I see him pick up a lighthouse and a fairgrounds. He's not going for provinces, and I don't think that is winning. Because with my stack of coin tokens, I can run out those 3 provinces. I feel confident that I could do that. Not only are the coin tokens giving me confidence, but the fact that I could summon a death card. That also gives me comfort, or gives me confidence that I can run the provinces before he could get his fairgrounds up to province width, or he could get enough fairgrounds. So he is going for that death card into ruins. Unfortunately, he picked up 2 ruins there, which was kind of funny. But oh well. Here, Catacomb shows me the gold, and I'm happily going to take that. Have a couple coin tokens on the map, and boom, this is province number, what, 5 for me? Just one more to finish the game, and I have 2 coin tokens in the back. So, should be in a good position here. I feel like I'm in a decent position, right? I don't think there's much he could do. He picks up a fairgrounds and a death card. I believe his fairgrounds are only worth 4 points, not quite yet with the 6 points, the very threatening 6 points. So here I do have an interesting choice before the reshuffle, and I go for silver. I shouldn't have done that. I should have kept my coin tokens wanting to buy the province. But I think, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I should have really kept the coin tokens. Maybe a lighthouse is better. So here, look at this 5, and I have 1 on the mat. Catacombs, no money there. Is there money here? No, there's no money. So here my play was, okay, I'll keep the 2 coin tokens and summon the death card, and I'll surely give me the province next turn, right? Wrong, because I got a bit complacent here, thinking that my opponent couldn't do anything to, come back in the game, and he actually proves me wrong here. He actually comes up with enough money to go for the last province and a fairgrounds to tie. So that is bad of me. I should have picked up the estate to prevent that, and you've seen me throw away 1.5 points. One last game, half a point here. Alright, thanks for watching.